Fiscal year 2021-2022 was just another year for the young Mbale City, in which realizing the targeted local revenue was hard. The City Council projected to collect over 3.7 billion. However, as of March 30th, 2022, Mbale City Council had only collected 1.1 billion shillings, raising concern among councillors and residents. It still remains that 3.7 billion shillings was never got as it was projected during the budgeting process. In the financial year 2017-2018, the then Mbale municipality suffered a shortfall in local revenue collection and only collected 2 billion shillings of the projected 3.9 billion shillings. 972 million shillings of the 1.9 billion shillings shortfall was caused by non-collection of revenue from the bus park and taxi parks. According to the 2018-2019 financial year budget estimates, the municipal council expected to collect 4.8 billion shillings, but all was in vain. This has often caused a puzzle among leaders in the city on why over the years there has been a challenge on realizing the revenue. The technical team and political wing have both traded blames on the disparities and shortfalls in local revenue collections. According to the councillors, the technocrats have been at the forefront of mismanaging local revenue collection. Isma Mukankadi is the workers' councillor of Mbale City and secretary for works. Mukankadi accuses technocrats of conniving with some people to rob the city of finances meant for service delivery, which he says has resulted from failure to realize the revenues meant to be collected.
Ezo ebisokerako ddala buli omu akimanyi nti Mbale ekyasinze okubanga abakozi ba politician n'abatekniko bakyasinze okubanga beewa bikonto.
City Post has since learned that Mbale City Council has failed to collect over 400 million shillings from companies contracted to collect revenue from utilities. These include Central Investments, which was contracted to collect street parking fees and had failed to remit 240 million shillings as of June last year, and Mbale Tippers Lorry Drivers Association Limited was contracted to collect load and offloading fees and owes the council 219 million shillings. Over the past month, there has been conflicts on who should collect the revenue from the two utilities. The clashes resulted from the procurement of contractors to collect revenue from street parking and loading and offloading after Mbale City Council contracted Nalu Tours and Travels to collect street parking fees, which put it in direct conflict with Central Investments Limited, whose contract expired last year. Mbale City terminated the contract of Central Investments, citing failure to remit over 246 million shillings. Despite losing the tender, the company declined to vacate the streets and continued collecting street parking fees, leading to skirmishes. In the financial report presented to the council early this year, the Chief Finance Officer, Richard Mabala, noted that there was a positive impact on the collection of local revenue using the IRAs, but hastened to note that there is a need for more enforcement to collect what has been assessed and also register new property rates. The authorities have now contracted new companies to take on the role of revenue collection in the city. However, there is conflict between the city headquarters and the divisions on who should contract and collect revenue and on which account should the money collected be deposited.
Remember your first words in the tent. You said you don't want rumors. We told you, but much as there are rumors, some rumors are true. Correct. Some contractors here are camouflaging.
We have a problem where our people are suffering because of ourselves. The way how we are handling what? Revenue. In fact, you find a big mistake where you get a city is collecting revenue and the division is also collecting what? Revenue.
Other issues we should not speak them here. I am requesting that we can actually stop this process. For one day, we consult each other, then we go ahead with this contract.
Ambrose Ochen, the Mbale City clerk, said that the collected money should stop being directly deposited on the central account, but rather to the accounts of the respective divisions, who in turn sent 50% of the money to the center.
Expected to deliver, and I deliver that performance contract through some of these. For now, there are matters here which we really should clear. I'm telling you, there are sources of revenue. You and me must agree that we're not seeing that money. Are we going to just continue like this, wishing in that book of lamentation?
Kasim Namugali, the mayor of the city, said that they have challenges with contractors who adamantly refuse to pay the money as per the contract signed. He said the money can only be realized if all the stakeholders played their role, adding that they are hopeful they will hit this financial year's target.
So,
Stephen Masiga, a researcher at the Mbale-based Makerere University Institute, says that the failure to collect revenue as projected affects service delivery.
Of course, for any city to survive, revenue is the lifeblood of the city. Through revenue, we get services. However, apparently we have noted with a lot of concern that our colleagues, one of the biggest problems in the city here, militating against tax collection, is the failure to comprehend issues to do with law. This is a legal matter. You know, under Local Government Act Cap 243, the district has a number of powers. I mean, the city, just like the district, they have a number of powers. They have planning powers, they have legislative powers, they have executive powers.
He said all the parties must understand their roles in the revenue collection process, and infighting must stop.
The role of the division is to enforce, to collect, assuming it's the division collecting. But now, because of the private partnership, the PPDs, we find that government prefers hiring or getting a contractor to manage revenue collection on behalf of what? Of the council. So there's a problem there. Right from the procurement department, you find that most of these persons do not put in security, bid security is lacking. So that's a very big problem.
James Kutosi, the Mbale City Public Relations Officer, says that the battles on revenue collection have hindered revenue collection in the city.
Yeah, one thing is over time you've had there are some running battles on some tenders, street parking, loading, offloading, look at abattoir, look at a number of things. But one thing is just yesterday or the other day, there were new signings of new tenderers, contractors for a number of revenue utilities.
He, however, says that the newly contracted companies are periodically going to be reviewed to ensure compliance in the revenue collection, and in case of failure, the contract shall be terminated.
It is also a commitment now from top leadership that all contract managers, if they have if you are in charge of a given facility, then you must be able to give a monthly update of how the revenue is performing rather than waiting for the whole year to go before you begin evaluation.
Chirinya Ayub, Mwajuma Bumba, City Post TV.